There we go. Alright, I'm sitting down here in the basement at Ivandi's sister's place. I'm staying in Brisbane at the moment. I've gone mad. The amount of time that I've burned up on this song, sitting here in the basement like Gollum, making excuse after excuse as to why I can't come upstairs and bake cheesecakes and play games with kids and puzzles, and I have just got this single focus in mind, which is to finish this track, and it's driven me nuts. Right now I'm currently encoding the sequence, which is a video of some footage we filmed. It's just talking about this stuff makes me feel like, who do I think I am, and what is the point of all this? It's a bit of a battle. It's always a battle, because I've got this drive. I have to live with this drive to create and finish projects. That stuff that's gone on for years and years and years. This song I started in 2016. I started in 2010. I started it 6 years ago. I started the song Wannabe 6 years ago. And for some reason I just cannot let it go. And I wish I could say that, it's taken like 6 years to reach this like point of perfection, and I just think it's such a luxury if you're able to call your work finished. If you're able to say, this is not done and I'm letting it go. It's the ultimate luxury, and it's something that I'd like to do more often. What I do is I take this incredibly convoluted path to the end, because I don't have a broad view. I get lost in details. So when I'm electronic music, and making electronic music is typically quite a solo endeavor, so it's difficult to have the perspective that you need all the time. It's so weird. It's so weird. It's just it's like, okay, sorry, I'm blabbing and rambling a bit here, but my mind's a bit fried. Okay, let's compare the ideal route from start to finish with the route that I typically take. Firstly, it seems just as much of a luxury to start with something new. That's something I wish I had more of, just starting new projects. But I feel this overpowering sense that I have to finish what I've started. So consequently, I've got hundreds of files, hundreds of projects and musical pieces, and very little guidance on how they're going to go, and where to categorize them. And if I'm going to be honest, they're more just sketches. You can't fool yourself into thinking you've got 600 tracks, because there's a big difference between an idea that you bash out one night and a finished track. So yeah, so that's one of the issues that I have to deal with. Starting new stuff versus finishing old stuff. So I pick up a piece, like for example this Wannabe song, and I manage to whip it into some kind of arrangement, like a beginning, middle and end, and then before I know it, I'm farming, I'm trying new stuff. I'm just going like new stuff all the time, like always just new. I've got to create a new sound. I've got to, I can't just pick one thing and just go with it to its finish. I've got to intercept myself, interrupt myself, and it's just learning all the time, like, how do I create that sound? And I get tracks in my mind, I listen to music, and I'm like, I've got to create that sound. And then I go for it. I really go for it, and I get elements of it, but it just never seems good enough to just make a beat or make a piece of music. It's got to always be like, just with this gravitas, like I've got to record like violin. This track means nothing unless there's a violin in it, so I record like violin parts for Africa, and then I arrange it into an ensemble, and then I spend hours just getting that to sound right, and then I'm like, I bury it in the background of the song, so it becomes this little niggly piece that I've spent time on, and so I'm obliged to include. But I actually don't always know if it contributes to the song or if it would actually sound better as a MIDI VST patch, or if there's an easier way to do it. So I very seldom take the easy way. It almost seems like the prerequisite for a part or a song or whatever to come together is that it has been like the word, it's like constipation, you know, that's the word that keeps coming to me, like it's this like, this process of giving birth to something that has been gestating for way too long. And I don't know, man, I'm a guy, I don't want to be doing music like that all the time. I do not want this to become a chore. I am prepared to put in work to finish songs, but I've gone very, very overboard with this one especially. Every tiny little thing. So fewer parts and more layers, more doubling up of sounds and bigger gaps between them. That's essentially what this type of music is about. Dance music, I think, is about creating or writing the silence. And it doesn't matter if you don't include a violin, a guitar, and vocals and keys and everything on every track. It doesn't have to be a heavily orchestrated thing. I feel, privileged to be able to pick up the instruments and play them. I just feel it's going to waste. I feel like the songs I'm lost in the software, and that whatever my forte is, it's not screen time. It's got something to do with the right parts. So picking the right parts, like instrumental parts, and playing them together, and so they lock together. And the quality of the recording, the quality of this the actual production side of it is not my forte. I'm a composer, so it's almost like if you listen to stuff from the Beatles in the 60s, it was recorded on very kind of lower quality equipment, or equipment that didn't have the weight of all this expertise and this knowledge that we have nowadays with audio production. This was like kind of before those days, but the music itself is good enough. They just got the right balance of sound. And I feel like I need to set an intention for every single time that I sit down in front of this damn computer. I can't just sit down and suddenly zoom in. I have to actually sit down and play the song through in my mind and go, alright, what I'm trying to achieve now is a better mix between the instrumental parts, or trying to achieve a specific sound that involves like dipping the vocals under the kick or whatever. Just whatever it is I'm trying to achieve, I need to know that before I sit down and start it. As far as the production process goes, like I'm using this finger now to click on my mouse, because this one is like sore. My first finger is like done with clicking, and my second finger's taken over. I feel like I'm like finger handicapped. And all of this for a piece of music that very, very few people are going to hear. It's all just about my journey, I guess. It's all about figuring this stuff out and learning how to do it. This has got very little to do with getting gigs and being popular. And I do believe in myself. That's why I continue to do this. It's much easier to just give up, but I do believe that there's a place for this kind of electronic music, and even if it's just a 30-minute show here or there. And so I'm building towards that. I'm building towards like this live show that's somehow electronic and instrumental and vocal at the same time as not being show-offish or just cheesy, just like that, simple pandering to emotions, writing lyrics for that capitalize on people's predisposition to react to, you know, lyrics about love, and I would like to allow the music to speak. I'd like the voice to be an instrument. If it needs to be included at all. I've got a problem. That's everything I do has to be so original. It's like the unforgivable sin for me is just trying to do something because you know it's gonna work. Anyway, like I said, I've gone mad. So what do I know? But for now, that's that. That's my life advice. So enjoy.